Past simple tense. A brightly lit classroom, desks arranged in neat rows. Henry, a seasoned teacher with a twinkle in his eye, stands at the front. Alexander, a curious student with a hand raised, waits patiently.
Mr. Henry, I'm a bit confused about the past simple tense. We learned about it last week, but I'm still not sure when to use it.
Excellent question, Alexander. The past simple is like a time machine, taking us back to finished actions in the past. Imagine it like a completed story, a chapter closed and sealed.
Okay, so I would use it to talk about things that happened yesterday, like, I ate breakfast.
Exactly. Past simple verbs usually change their form, but not always. For regular verbs like eat, you simply add ed to the base form, I ate. But some verbs are irregular, like go, its past form is went.
I see. So, I wouldn't say, I go to the park yesterday, but I went to the park yesterday.
Absolutely. Remember, the past simple is for finished actions, not ongoing ones. I go describes a habit or routine, while I went refers to a specific past event.
What about verbs like be? Do they change too?
Yes, be is a bit tricky. In the past simple, it takes different forms depending on who or what is doing the action. For example, I was tired, he was happy, they were playing.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if I want to talk about something that happened over a longer period in the past, like a vacation?
For longer actions in the past, we use the past continuous tense. It's like a movie playing in our minds, showing us the details of what happened. We use was or were followed by the ing form of the verb. I was swimming in the ocean, we were exploring the city.
I get it. So, past simple for finished actions, like a snapshot, and past continuous for ongoing actions, like a video.
Wonderful. You've grasped the concept perfectly, Alexander. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try writing a short story using both tenses and we can discuss it tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. I feel much more confident now.
That's fantastic. Don't hesitate to ask if anything else comes up. Remember, the journey of learning is full of exciting discoveries.
The bell rings, signaling the end of the class. Alexander smiles, feeling a newfound understanding of the past simple tense. I hope this conversation helps you understand the past simple tense. Feel free to ask if you have any further questions. The next day in English class. Alexander waits eagerly for the lesson to begin, his hand already raised.
Good morning, class. Let's pick up where we left off yesterday with the past simple tense. Alexander, did you have any questions about using it in your story?
Yes, Mr. Henry. I wrote about going to the beach last summer, but I wasn't sure how to describe everything that happened.
Excellent. Remember, the past simple is like a series of snapshots capturing each individual event. Did you build sandcastles, swim in the ocean, or play frisbee?
I did all of those. But I also got lost for a while, and that was kind of scary.
A moment of suspense. How did you use the past simple to show that?
I wrote, suddenly, I realized I couldn't see my parents anymore. I panicked and started running around, calling for them.
Perfect. You used strong verbs like panicked and running to convey the urgency of the situation. Did you eventually find your parents?
Yes, luckily. I spotted them waving from the lifeguard tower. I was so relieved, I ran towards them and gave them a big hug.
You did a great job showing the progression of events, Alexander. Notice how each sentence stands alone like a separate picture in your beach memory.
I understand now. But what about using the past simple with other verbs like think or feel?
You're right, those verbs can be tricky. In the past simple, we use the same form as the present tense, but without the s for third person singular. So you would say, I thought I was lost or I felt scared.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I wouldn't say, I thinks I was lost.
Exactly. Remember, the past simple is for things that already happened, not ongoing thoughts or feelings.
I think I'm getting it now, Mr. Henry. Thanks for making it so clear.
My pleasure, Alexander. Now, who else has questions about the past simple? Remember, practice is key, so don't hesitate to use it in your writing and speaking.
The class erupts in a flurry of questions and discussions, eager to master the past simple tense. This follow-up conversation builds on the previous understanding of the past simple tense, exploring its use in storytelling and with verbs like think and feel. It also encourages further practice and engagement within the class. The English classroom buzzes with activity, students scribbling notes and asking questions. Alexander, his confidence boosted by the previous lessons, sits attentively, ready to tackle new challenges.
Good morning, class. Today, we'll delve deeper into the past simple, exploring its negative and interrogative forms. Remember, it's like our time machine, but with different buttons to press.
So, for negative sentences, do we just add not before the verb?
You're on the right track, Alexander. But for regular verbs, we add didn't before the base form. So, instead of I eat, we say I didn't eat. Irregular verbs, however, have their own unique past forms. For example, I didn't go instead of I don't go.
Okay, got it. But what about questions? Do we just flip the subject and verb around?
Not quite. We use did as a helper verb before the subject and the base form of the verb. So, I went to the beach becomes, did you go to the beach?
That makes sense. So, he didn't play basketball yesterday, and did she watch TV last night?
Precisely. Now, let's try putting this into practice. Imagine you're interviewing someone about their trip to the zoo last weekend. What questions would you ask to understand their experience?
I could ask, did you see any lions, or what animals did you not like? Or maybe, did you have any funny moments at the zoo?
Excellent. You're using the past simple in different ways to gather information and create a vivid picture of their zoo visit. Remember, the negative and interrogative forms allow us to explore the past from various angles.
I'm starting to see how versatile the past simple can be. But what if someone tells me about their trip in the present tense, like, I'm seeing lions right now?
That's where the present continuous tense comes in. It's like a live camera showing what's happening at the moment. So, if they're at the zoo now, they'd use the present continuous.
So, past simple for completed actions, present continuous for ongoing ones. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this time travel business.
Fantastic. Remember, practice is key. Use these tenses in your conversations and writing, and don't hesitate to ask if anything gets confusing. The past, present, and future are all yours to explore through language.
The class continues with lively discussions and exercises, students confidently navigating the different tenses. This conversation takes the learning a step further by exploring the negative and interrogative forms of the past simple tense. It also introduces the contrast with the present continuous tense, solidifying the students' understanding of time travel through language. The classroom hums with a familiar energy. Today, students tackle verbs with irregular past forms, the trickier companions of the past simple tense. Alexander, now a confident explorer of past events, eagerly awaits the challenge.
Good morning, class. Today, we embark on a quest to conquer the irregular verbs, the mischievous gremlins of the past simple. Remember, while most verbs follow the ed rule, these rebels have their own unique past forms.
Like go, becoming, went. Those are the ones that sometimes trip me up.
Precisely, Alexander. So, to tame these gremlins, we need to be familiar with their quirks. For example, eat becomes ate, write becomes wrote, and sleep becomes slept. Some even changed their vowels, like sing becoming sang, and swim becoming swam.
I see. So, it's like learning a secret language for these verbs.
You've got it. And to solidify their forms, let's play a game. Imagine you're preparing a surprise birthday party for your friend. Describe your actions using only irregular verbs in the past simple tense.
Okay, I'll try. I snuck into the bakery and bought a cake. Then, I blew up balloons and hung decorations. Finally, I hid all the presents. Wait, is hide irregular?
Excellent. Yes, hide becomes hid. See how these verbs come to life in your story? Remember, consistency is key. Don't mix present tense with past forms within the same action.
What if I can't remember the irregular form of a verb?
No worries. We have trusty dictionaries and the power of asking. The important thing is to practice and experiment. Remember, these verbs are like building blocks in your past-telling arsenal.
I think I'm getting the hang of it. It's like a puzzle. Once you know the piece shapes, you can build intricate memories.
Wonderful analogy, Alexander. Now let's try describing different scenarios using various irregular verbs. Don't be afraid to stumble. Mistakes are stepping stones on the path to mastery.
The class erupts in lively storytelling, students weaving tales of past adventures, each sentence a testament to their growing understanding of the irregular verb kingdom. This final conversation focuses on mastering irregular verbs, the trickier side of the past simple tense. It uses games and storytelling to create a fun and engaging learning environment, encouraging students to embrace the challenges and build confidence in their time travel skills. The English classroom is abuzz with the chatter of students eager to share their stories. Alexander, now a seasoned time traveler through the past simple tense, approaches teacher Henry with a curious glint in his eye.
Mr. Henry, I have a question about using the past simple with different time expressions.
Ah, excellent. Time expressions are like signposts guiding us through the past. Tell me, what kind of stories are you weaving?
I was writing about a camping trip I took last weekend. I used the past simple for most things, like, we pitched the tent and I cooked dinner. But I wasn't sure how to talk about things that happened at specific times.
You're right, Alexander. For specific moments, we can use past simple with expressions like at noon, before sunset, or after dark. For example, at noon, we hiked to the waterfall, or before sunset, we roasted marshmallows.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about things that happened over a period of time, like the whole weekend?
In that case, we can use past simple with more general expressions like all day, throughout the night, or during the trip. For example, all day we explored the forest trails, or throughout the night we told stories around the campfire.
I get it. So, for specific moments, specific expressions, and for longer periods, general expressions.
Exactly. Remember, the choice of expression depends on the level of detail you want to convey. Sometimes a single moment can be the highlight of your story, like just before dawn, I heard the call of a loon.
I like that. It really sets the scene. Now, what about if I want to talk about something that happened repeatedly during the trip, like playing frisbee?
For repeated actions, we can use the past simple with adverbs of frequency like often, usually, or always. For example, we often played frisbee by the lake, or I always woke up early to watch the sunrise.
Wow, there are so many ways to use the past simple. It's like a paintbrush with different shades for different moments.
Precisely, Alexander. The past simple is a powerful tool for painting vivid pictures of your memories. Don't be afraid to experiment and find the right shade for each moment in your story.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. I feel so much more confident now about using the past simple to tell my stories.
Keep exploring, Alexander. The past is your playground and the past simple is your time machine.
Alexander returns to his desk, a smile on his face and a newfound appreciation for the intricacies of the past simple tense. This conversation focuses on using the past simple tense with different time expressions, helping Alexander understand how to navigate through various lengths of time within his stories. It encourages him to experiment with different shades of the tense, making his past adventures come alive. The classroom hums with the quiet murmur of students writing, their pens etching stories onto paper. Alexander, his brow furrowed in concentration, approaches Mr. Henry with a determined glint in his eye.
Mr. Henry, I think I finally understand the past simple. It's like a kaleidoscope, shifting the same event into different perspectives.
Excellent. Tell me, Alexander, what insights have you gleaned from your time-traveling adventures?
I see how the past simple isn't just about finished actions, but about portraying them in different shades. With specific times, like at dusk, it's a spotlight, illuminating a single moment.
Precisely. Like a brushstroke capturing a fleeting emotion. And those broader expressions all day or throughout the week are like wide-angle lenses painting the bigger picture.
And the adverbs of frequency, often, or seldom, are like filters, adding layers of routine or exception. They let me show what was typical or unique in my past experiences.
You've grasped the essence, Alexander. Remember, the past simple isn't just a grammar rule, it's a storyteller's tool. It lets you build suspense, sprinkle in surprise, and linger on cherished moments.
I can't wait to put it to practice. In my camping story, I used the past simple to paint the scene. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we huddled around the crackling fire, the aroma of roasted marshmallows filling the air.
Beautiful. You've captured the essence of the moment with vivid detail. The past simple serves as the foundation, and your word choice, like the brush strokes of a painter, breathes life into your memories.
I get it now. It's not just about what happened, but how it felt and why it mattered.
Exactly. The past simple is a conduit to your emotions, Alexander. Use it to share your laughter, your tears, your triumphs and fears. Make your past come alive, not just with facts, but with feelings.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. I feel like I can truly own my past now, not just recount it. It's a treasure chest filled with stories waiting to be told.
And the past simple is your key, Alexander. Unlock those stories, share them with the world, and let your past paint the canvas of your future.
Alexander nods, a newfound confidence radiating from him. He returns to his desk, his pen poised to weave new tales, his mastery of the past simple his time-traveling companion. This final conversation focuses on Alexander's realization of the past simple tense as a storytelling tool. It encourages him to use it not just to recount facts, but to evoke emotions and share his personal experiences. Mr. Henry acts as a guide, helping Alexander unlock the full potential of the past and use it to paint his future.